Okay, my beautiful friends, sit back and relax. Sit back and relax. You and I realize we're in a freak show, and it keeps getting worse. Well, what I'm about to tell you is going to be the icing on the cake here. Post-market wrap-up on this Wednesday, September 14th, 2022. How many of you even knew that yesterday at the White House, when we got this abysmal report on skyrocketing inflation, no end in sight here, okay? There was a party going on at the White House celebrating the Inflation Reduction Act. You can't make this stuff up. James Taylor, who I happen to used to like the guy, he was out there, doing his thing, singing some lovely tunes here for our retarded president. And of course, Nancy Pelosi, who had this to say about the Inflation Reduction Act as inflation was surging. This achievement is a testament to our unity, optimism, and persistence. Really? Make it up. Make that up. Try to make it up right now. Make up something like that. Anything. You can't do it. It's impossible to do. But that's the case. I just cannot believe. Look, this is how, I guess, the new way to sell a lie. You cannot spend your way into reducing inflation via, the Inflation Reduction Act, hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. But they want you to believe that. So why not spend trillions of dollars and we can completely erase, right? We can erase inflation then? No. So they're laughing in your face. They're having a party at the White House, laughing in your face. I want you to think about that. Where's the uproar? I don't know. I don't hear anything. Nothing. Zero. So I have a bunch of things I want to cover with you here, of course, the markets, but I want to talk about a couple of other things. This is getting some mainstream media attention. This is from Market Watch. Market Watch today in an article is saying the next crash may not come from where you think it will come from, which is the stock market. They're pointing their hands and their ugly fingers at the debt market. Duh! Oh yeah, maybe Market Watch and those freaks over there follow my work. I think they do. Yes, it's the debt market. Now here we go. The IMF today is warning of a debt implosion. A debt implosion. So look, it's getting attention. You and I have known about this for I don't know how long, years, many, many years, getting worse and worse. It's a ticking time bomb. You all know that. But now it's getting mainstream media attention. The IMF is following it up. Some crazy stuff. So on the economic front, so we found out that core PPI, which is another measure of inflation, came in higher than expected. Oh, who? No, I'm not an owl. But who? Who seriously, didn't see this one coming? Duh! Make that shit up. Make that shit up along with the party for the Inflation Reduction Act with Nancy Pelosi and retard presidents. So you can't make this stuff up. Now here's something else that you can't make up if you wanted to. Try to make this one up. So the Homeland Security Chief, Alejandro Mayor, whatever, retard, Americans who don't trust the government are the biggest terror threat. I don't trust the government, and I don't think a single one of you do either. So you and I, we're the biggest terror threats. What else would you expect in this kind of an environment? If you don't conform, does this sound familiar to you? Just, go back on history here. Gestapo, seriously. Maybe these things ring a bell here. Pay attention to what's happening, people, because it's getting a lot uglier, and it's following the exact pathway that you and I would have expected. Fascism, hardcore. Forget about communism. We're way beyond that. Way beyond that. So not only did we get this issue here with the core PPI, higher than expected, well, we also found out, and this is just a no-brainer, but, to see it in writing maybe is a little bit different. So consumer prices right now today are vastly outpacing gross domestic product. That, my friends, just putting that into perspective should tell you where we are going here. We have an economy in collapse. It's in free fall. as a percentage of GDP, our economy, it's done. Globally, it's over. I mean, consumer prices vastly outpacing. And it's not going to stop. Look, they're going to try to convince you via parties hosted by the president and Pelosi with nice singers like James Taylor. They're going to try to convince you that everything that you're seeing is just not real. Yes, absolutely here. We also found out that the budget deficit for August went up 29% year over year from last year, obviously. How does that sound to you? Let me put another perspective on this entire thing for you. We have a system. Let me back up a moment. I've explained to all of you, we've discussed it right here, how there is a move here to a new two-tier society, or going back in time to a feudal system. All right. What they're doing here is weaponizing the entire financial and economic system. They're weaponizing it to get rid of any one of you who may be a member of the middle class. They need you to be a slave to the system. I've said this a million times over the past, I don't know how many years. They need people dependent on the system. So how they're achieving this is by weaponizing it. And then they're making fun of you by having parties at the White House where they're celebrating the Inflation Reduction Act that's working so well. Let me ask you this. Do you believe, now that we've just found out that inflation continues to go higher with no end in sight here, will anybody who backed the Inflation Reduction Act be held to account? Will the Federal Reserve be held to account? Because they're the ones who really are driving this entire thing. No, they won't. And it's going to get much worse. Look, unless people literally start taking to the streets or start talking about this, more, getting videos like this out there, getting people to care, it's just done. We have a society here that is in a state of decay and decline beyond anyone's wildest imaginations. I mean, seriously, just to put another perspective on this, if you were to ask Nancy Pelosi or Joe, if you put Nancy Pelosi over here and you put Joe Bidenstein next to each other and ask them to explain to you or define what a man or a woman is, neither one of them can do it. They're incapable of defining what a man or a woman is. That's the society we live in today. It's an incredible thing, but this is the truth. Anyway, let me just go through some of this before I touch on the market. So I think it's interesting, just real quick, how the mainstream media is now picking up on this liquidity crisis issue with the debt market. And this was, again, an article on Market Watch. Look it up, the next crash. And they're saying it's not going to, you don't know where it's going to come from, but they do. No, you know, because I've been telling you it's in the debt market since I don't know how freaking long. You can't make this stuff up. You can't do it. It's impossible to do. And then the IMF jumping right on board with this. A debt explosion. What they really mean is an implosion. Duh. You can't make that stuff up either. Anyway, let's go back to the market before this video gets too damn long. 10-year yield did kind of stabilize today, 3.41. All right, no major spikes here. The dollar did reverse fractionally lower. All right, what that did do, I believe, is prevent a further sell-off in the market. So today, stocks did put on fractional gains. I mean, it's fractional, like nothing major here. But again, you know what's going to happen. If you wake up tomorrow morning, all right, pre-market, and the 10-year yield is 3.5, and the dollar is, 0.5% stronger, what do you think is going to happen in the stock market? Can I get a duh, please? Make it up. Yeah, it won't like that. But again, if in fact they get some kind of handle on the debt market, bond yield rising, which means debt is selling off, and it's already illiquid. And don't listen to Greg Mannarino. Listen to the IMF. Listen to Market Watch. They're telling you what Greg Mannarino has been saying since time immemorial. Duh. Make that stuff up. Anyway, gold and silver finishing mixed. Nothing major going on. Bitcoin under 20,000 right now. Crude oil catching a bid. That's where we stand right now with the market. Okay, big deal. Today was a big fat zero to me of this market here. A lot of people calling for this market to take a much bigger hit moving forward as the economy free falls. Yeah, but we're not in recession. We're not in recession. Ask Janet Yellen, ask our president, ask the Fed chairperson himself. We are not in recession. No, absolutely not. Although debts and deficits continue to skyrocket. Inflation is out of control. Big celebrations at the White House for the Inflation Reduction Act. You can't make that stuff up. James Taylor. I want to vomit. I don't think I'm ever going to listen to James Taylor again. All right? I don't care. Whatever. I just can't handle it anymore. I can't. Anyway, so that, my friends, my lovely friends, is the story. I really don't have much more to say. Other than I really do hope you share this stuff, you get it out there, you start talking about it, start your own blog. Start your own blog. I'll help promote it. What else can I tell you? People aren't going to take to the streets because they've been too dumbed down. They don't know what to do anymore. They're becoming, like I said, the system's been weaponized against them. They've reached the state of learned helplessness. They feel like they can't do anything about it, so they just sit there and take it. As they get made fun of by parties at the White House, as they continue to get destroyed. And that phenomenon, you haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything yet. All right, look, this guy here loves you a lot. I mean that. Please get this out there. Please share it, comment. I want to hear from you. I really do. I'm out of here. See you in the morning.